I get to travel to a lot of really cool locations, and you know, both professionally and personally, and I really enjoy that part of life now. And I look at some of the adventures you get to go on and the backdrops to them that they're so unique, whether we're overseas in Africa, New Zealand, hunting Kentucky, it doesn't matter, hunting our own deer lease. I just look for different things. But here, this one is gonna rank up there in the top 5. We're in an old church that was built in 1901. It's got its own little cemetery out there. There's an old schoolhouse that was brought in some years later and tied to this. I mean, I'm shooting this interview, it might be a little echoey, but I just thought it was a cool backdrop. But you know, back where the choir and the preacher would stand and talk to the congregation back here behind us, the church still has the you know, the old church still has the, you know, the backdrop of the stained glass that was built years ago. And it's just, I mean, what a cool backdrop.
Located in northwestern Oklahoma, the Outfit Oklahoma specializes in waterfowl and turkey. But with thousands of acres spread out among the soybean and corn fields, they also offer archery and rifle hunts for monster whitetail.
You know, the outfit up here in Oklahoma that we're working with on this trip here, I had began texting Shane as soon as we set this hunt up. Very responsive. You could tell he was excited about, you know, planning of the hunt. We were shipping in blinds. We were talking about strategies. I was trying to learn more about how they, you know, hunt in this part of Oklahoma, and really all of Oklahoma that's not public land. You can bait, and which is very common. A lot of people use supplemental feeding. I'm a big believer in supplemental feeding. Use it in our deer leases all the time. Helps our carrying capacity, helps get deer through rough times. It's really dry in Oklahoma right now. Helps focus deer into areas where you can age them and hopefully find a good one that you want to shoot. People don't like it. That's their choice. They don't have to do it. I do it, and I support it, and I believe in what it does for the habitat. In this location up here, we're hunting a river bottom that butts up to what will be a winter wheat field. Now, they've only had like 18 inches of rain this year, normally have around 30, so you know, it's pretty dry, really dry. When you drive down the road or you see a farmer, you see big dust clouds behind all the trucks, behind our truck, behind the, you know, the tractors that are plowing. That probably has hurt a little bit of the antler growth, generally does. And the wheat and some of the food sources are behind, but what that also does is if you have the ability to put out supplemental feed, it will draw some deer into your area. So that's kind of our backdrop of where we're hunting.
Supplemental nutrition is a year-round endeavor that can really pay off. If you'd like to learn more, our friends at Record Rack Nutrition have a great blog on the subject. Check out the Buckology 101 link at recordrack.com. With the stage set, we'll head back to the lodge for final preparations. On this adventure, we'll be hunting with the 10-point line of crossbows and accessories.
Crossbows, the 10-point crossbow family is deep and diverse, and each one of the models offer a lot of different capabilities and features that you got to dial through, and your budget, you know, has to match some of them. Whether you're spending under $1,000 or over $3,000, each one of them is going to do some different things. The TX440 that I'm shooting here, it's a railless model, super easy to maintain. You can build it right out of the box and be ready to hunt with everything that comes with it. It's a perfect kit right there. I actually replaced my factory scope with a Garmin Zero crossbow scope. Gives me pinpoint accuracy, you know, tells me when I do things wrong, for lack of a better word, gives me a perfect target lock, everything about it. It's a premier, top-of-the-line, full-energy, high-speed crossbow combination. Other guys may just want a basic price point model that shoots, you know, $350 and everything that goes in there. You kind of dial through it, and when you do that, you find different capabilities. With the model I'm shooting, honestly, I can shoot further and more accurately. I'll have more energy to be able to deliver to the targets. I mean, there are just a wide lineup of crossbows for you to choose from under the 10-point family.
Now, crossbow regulations vary from state to state, so check your local laws. But if you're interested in the ultimate in crossbow technology, find the right crossbow for your needs and price point at 10pointcrossbows.com. We're on the road with Wade and the crew in northwestern Oklahoma, near Enid, hunting with Outfit Oklahoma, a first-class hunting lodge specializing in waterfowl, wild turkey, and big whitetail.
This part of northwest Oklahoma I grew up in southern Oklahoma, so I'm gonna back that up. But this part of northwest Oklahoma, I really haven't spent a ton of time at. We're not too far from Kansas, not too far from the Texas Panhandle, and you've got a really unique set of diverse farmlands around here. You can, as you drive the old dirt roads, you're gonna see all kinds of crops: corn, milo, sorghum, a mix of soybeans when they've got rain. You see some woodlots, you see some creek bottoms, some river bottoms. So you've got this really diverse set of farming country in an area that has been known to produce some pretty darn good deer.
Heading out to the field in the all-new Yamaha RMAX 1000, Wade is clad in true timber camo and carrying the 10-point TX440 with the Garmin Zero crossbow sight. Hunting from a box blind, Wade leaves the RMAX behind, making the final approach on foot.
And there's just something cool about crossing a barbed wire fence, and you get out into the dirt of the field, and you're seeing deer tracks as you're walking along through the field, and then you get to where you're climbing down the old riverbank, and you work your way down into the old riverbank, and you're kind of following your trail that they've cut, and you get to the back of your blind, you're getting all set up, and you're easing in there, you're looking at your shot lanes, you open up the windows, you put all your gear down, you get your chair set, and then you just sit there, and the world gets quiet, except for the buzzing mosquitoes and flies. The mosquitoes were bad on this trip.
With the blind set up against the brush, Wade has a clear line of sight of the feeder and corn pile, along with multiple ingress and egress points. Ranging his shooting options, it's a 30-yard shot to the feeder and near 50 to the far side of the clearing, all well within the capabilities of his 10-point and Garmin Zero sight. With a couple hours until sunset, we'll leave Wade and head back to the lodge to check in with Yamaha's Scott Newby. If you're in the market or looking to add Yamaha parts and accessories, there's a new feature on the Yamaha Motorsports website to help you outfit your Yamaha ATV or side-by-side.
We have a very extensive network of Yamaha dealers, but the great thing is, if you can only find us online at YamahaMotorsports.com, we have a lot of wonderful features there. And that's anything from seeing all of our Yamaha genuine parts and accessories to where you can actually build them on the vehicle that you want. Tells you exactly what the arrival date is, the dealer you can ship it to, but it even shows a 3D rendering of what your vehicle will look like with all those Yamaha genuine accessories added to it. Plus, we have a new feature as well to where if you want to see what the vehicle is going to look like in front of you, we have the virtual reality to where you'd actually kind of cast that on your phone, on your tablet. You can see exactly what all the features are going to look like, what the vehicle is going to look like too. But also when it comes to just kind of the old school style, where you can call us on our customer service line, we can help you out. And pretty much everything in between on social media as well. We're here to help. We're here to make sure that we have the vehicle that suits your needs.
Build your Yamaha ATV or side-by-side, or customize your ride in real time with genuine Yamaha parts and accessories at YamahaMotorsports.com. And be sure to join us next week when Yamaha's Scott Newby heads to the field with his 10-point crossbow.
Man, the crossbow, it's such a versatile platform, and now that they have, especially that 10-point, it's so compact, it's really easy to load. I was shooting the TX28, and it's like, man, that thing is so smooth, and not only when it comes to trigger pull, but even just when you can crank it down, and hey, when you get skunked at the end of the night, you can decock it like it's not that big of a deal to be able to do. Needless to say, I'll be hunting with a crossbow for a long time now.
On this episode of the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries, we're in northwestern Oklahoma and in the field with Wade Middleton. We're hunting with Outfit Oklahoma, a beautiful lodge specializing in waterfowl, Rio Grande gobblers, and big whitetail. Check out their website and gallery at theoutfitok.com or look them up on Facebook and Instagram. Set up in a box blind between a field of winter wheat and a riverbed, Wade is hunting with the 10-point TX440 crossbow and the 10-point center punch crossbow arrow with lighted knock.
Seats down in there really good. There's no rail on this particular model here. It's the TX440, and it just basically is a tactile remove. Super fast, well over 400 with any setup that you're going to get. We've got the Nemesis broadhead on there, and of course the Garmin Zero. Crossbows go wasn't long, a little bit after 6, and we started to get some shadows out there, and we had a doe or two come through. I saw my first buck let's just say 7 o'clock for lack of a better thing. I didn't really look at my watch, and it was a small buck, and he kind of came in, you know, across where the river would be. And, you know, when you see one, it's not uncommon to see 2 or 3 or 4 or more. And in this case, it turned out to be 3 bucks. And the third one in the line, I didn't even look at the other 2 after I saw the last one. First thing I did was ease that old safety off. Take that sucker down, because I was like, this guy gives me a shot, I'm gonna take it. And I've got my, you know, my zero on, I'm sitting there, I'm on a tripod, I'm locked steady. Everything is just perfect in this case, except my hands are starting to sweat, my heart's starting to pound, I can feel the tension in my neck getting there. And that's the coolest thing. I mean, I've been deer hunting, you know, since I was 10 or 12 years old, and I still get that feeling. And this one had me even shaking more than most of them do. This buck, I mean, when you see him coming out through the brush and he's kind of walking his way out and he's eating some oats and he's starting to eat some of the corn, and he's kind of out there in a pretty good spot, but it wasn't the best shot for me. I'm like, you know, the sun is setting. We're not getting more light. We're losing light in this type of a hunting situation. The sun's not coming up, it's going down. And the clock is ticking. And I have spent a lot of time with crossbows. I know the energy of what I've got in my hands right now. I know what this crossbow will do. And as he's cutting across through that, you know, across that field towards where the other 2 bucks are setting up at, I'm thinking he's probably going to be quartered towards me a little bit. But if he gives me a shot where I can drive that bolt through that body cavity or clip that back shoulder there, I'm going to take it. Through, which makes me think I was forward, and I caught that bone. I don't know. Oh, I get spun out when this happens. I just got to sit here for a minute and catch my breath. No, we'll have to play it back. Whew. Okay, let's play it back and see what we got. The zero said 24 yards when he stopped. And when I pulled the trigger, my first thought was I didn't get penetration. What happened? And then everything blanks out. You're spinning, your head's going off, the deer's running off. But I'm used to that crossbow going bolt and the arrow going all the way through him. Ping, bounces off in the distance. This case, I'm like, he's running off, and I can see a lot of that arrow sticking out of him. Then it stops out there, and I'm watching that knock. I'm thinking, he either died right there, or he just walked down to the river.
Not sure of the buck's condition and not wanting to push it, Wade sat for well over an hour before making the climb back up and the long hike back to the RMAX 1000.
Totally on me. If it's a bad shot, then it's on me. Buck fever, boy, my stomach was spinning, my hands were shaking. That's a big deer. That's what makes it tougher.
We're up near Enid, Oklahoma, some 40 miles south of Kansas. This is prime waterfowl country, but this week we're hunting whitetail. And just before the break, Wade got a shot on a big, mature buck with his 10-point TX 440 crossbow. Pulling the trigger, the 10-point center punch arrow made a loud thunk on impact. And with the lighted nock glowing bright, Wade watched as the buck disappeared into the brush.
My hands are freaking. I've done this a long time. I still get shook up. I just hope I made a good shot. It sounded so freaking loud.
Before heading back to the lodge, Wade sent a quick text, and by the time he got back to the truck, Jeff Reynolds and Yamaha's Scott Newby were waiting.
I think what you seen was him falling over.
When you see it all wiggling,
Watch. Let him run up there and stop.
he stands there, but he looks like he looks at us. And I mean, both of us thought he was looking at us. And then then you see it wiggle a couple different directions.
Pulling up the shot on camera, they watched as the lighted knock stopped and appeared to either drop or change direction. It was hard to tell on a 3-inch screen. The consensus was that the knock fell out or the buck dropped where it stood. Either way, they were going to find out.
I hit the shoulder. I don't think I hit the shoulder.
I think you hit the shoulder.
Do you? Blew through it.
Mm-hmm.
It was
You
loud.
watch. It looks like they made that knock just like he's falling over that way.
With the Cyclops searchlights lighting the way, they headed back into the brush.
It's right there, wasn't it?
Yep, I see the knock.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good thing. I think that thing's coming out. Let's hope it's a good thing. We found one earlier like that. Oh, please be there. Oh, hell yeah! Oh, heck yeah. Boy, that feels good. Oh, God, look at this deer. Holy cow. Oh, he died right there. Oh, here, hold that, please, Scott. Thank you. He drove
Holy
that 10
cow.
point through that sucker. I know. Look at that palmation right there. Holy cow. I have done this since I was a, teenager, and I have watched a lot of deer. I have shot a lot of deer. I got so shook up on this thing here. I mean, it was just, I have never shot a deer in northwest Oklahoma. Look at the brows on this. Oh my gosh. Oh, come here, Scott. Good eyes. I mean, that's like finding yours. There's the knock in Kentucky. What a buck. God, this is going to be a cool story to tell. Oh my God.
Holy cow, dude.
That's a stud. Look at them brow tines. How thick they are. Look at that palmation. I mean, he's palmed all the way out to there.
Look at the mass.
Oh!
Golly.
Oh, thank you, sir. This is a phenomenal buck. When you look at this buck, his right side, you go down it, and the mass that he's got, and the palmations where the tines are coming out together, and the brow tines on this buck, massive. The mass that he carries out. He's gonna be on my wall. Not gonna lie though, pretty proud of this one. Everybody else was too.
And with that, we'll wrap up another adventure on the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries. A big shout out to Shane and the team up at Outfit, Oklahoma. If you'd like information on their whitetail, waterfowl, or other hunts, look them up at theoutfitok.com. If you've got any questions about this hunt or the gear used, reach out to us at whitetail@carecotv.com. Keep up with the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries on social media. We're pretty easy to find. And remember, for the very best in gear, electronics, and more, Bass Pro and Cabela's have you covered.